From Puebla, it's Austin, Texas, this is Stacker.News Live! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker.News Live. My name is Carl with the baby. I have Keyan and Topher and Stan is getting stung by a bee. Are you getting stung by a bee? Oh, wow. Keyan, we're on a boat.
Hi, yeah. We are on a boat. It's on the water. And
Here, you guys talk while I check everything real quick.
and there's here's a steering device and
Talk, Ted.
Hello.
Yeah, just talk. Let me check everything.
We're on a boat. Look at us.
Yeah.
is that the
audience?
How
mic?
was your week, Keyan? That's what you're supposed to say.
Oh, my week was pretty good. I met a guy named Rob today who is a hacker who takes responsibility for Russiagate.
Oh yeah, Russia.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I kind of wanted to ask him a bunch of questions about it, but he didn't seem interested in really like telling me too much about it. Or maybe I didn't seem enthusiastic enough about
I don't
hearing
think
the
there's
answer.
that much to it. It might just be he just got a bunch of bots and just threw them at, Hillary Clinton at the time.
Yeah, but I feel like there has to be, someone can weave that into a nice narrative. I mean, that media did certainly. So you would hope that, I don't know. I was expecting maybe like I could get more out of him, especially if it's like the first thing out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Can we talk about his newsletter, or should we? Or do you think?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it's called.
It's called Forward Intelligence, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and he does I think he wants people to know about it because he sells it. It's like a newsletter that he does where he gathers intelligence on the world, I think, and sells, what do you say? CEOs, heads of state,
private security
on.
Was it Peter Thiel?
Yeah, well, that's what he said. That's
Yeah.
that's his pitch. He's
He's
like,
Thiel light.
yes, he said Palantir, but for the private sector is I think what he's, or for civilians.
Yeah.
Palantir for civilians, I think was his pitch. And you want to do the other side, I think, with the little bumpies on it.
I'm coining that phrase, plebintier.
How was your guys this week? Topher, you're the captain. How is it being a captain?
It's a lot of work.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry,
You
I'm
have
gonna
to
go
make
over
sure
here.
people don't drown on your boat.
Who's the first to drown on the boat? Who's on the boat? Do you think?
Nobody yet that you know of.
That
I'm willing to discuss.
Well, who would you guess out of the four of us?
As most
likely to drown?
Probably. I can swim.
You're the captain. You would probably save whoever's in the water and then drown and die.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to go down with the ship, huh?
You do have to go down with the ship.
Yeah.
Should have bought a bigger boat.
One more duct
I
tape.
don't want to go down with this dinghy. Oh,
You're gonna go down with a bigger ship.
Yeah, I feel like it's more dignified.
What's the ship has a name? Or has its name changed?
Its name is Little Wing, named by Ovi,
Okay.
who is also a co-captain of the boat.
Yes.
And
He's an open
the true
agent.
sailor on the ship, but he's not here right now.
Yeah.
So I'll be very disappointed if I have to go down with the ship.
Sounds like an anime character's name. Little Wing.
Oh, a Little Wing.
Yeah. Do you know the origin of it?
Cheers, Christopher David. His baby was just born.
Oh,
Cheers to him. I
right
just saw
on.
it on Twitter.
just right now. Wow.
Cheers, Christopher.
Cheers.
Yeah, if you never seen this crazy show before, it's called Stacker News Live. We cover
Probably-
the top 5 stories,
Oh,
top 3
say
stories
like
on
cold card
Bitcoin. And
Came
this
out to move his
week
keys.
we actually have a doozy. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Keyan, you want to jump into it, Keyan? You ready?
I guess I'm ready.
You had a joke lined up and everything.
I'm back here. No, I was gonna say that Christopher David's kid came out to move his cold card keys.
Too soon? Maybe?
I don't think it's too soon. I mean,
All right.
I'm not doing.
All right. Well, the number 4 top story this week. All this whole list was made by Wumble, by the way, because I didn't have time to get everything set up like we normally do because we're on a boat. This one's called "User Reports Their Code Card Wallet Being Drained on Reddit." This is from Merch, July 30th. 153 comments, 21,000 sats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to reconstruct most of this from memory because I don't have my laptop in front of me because I'm on a boat. But on July 29th, it looks like a bunch of people's coins moved, and they all happen to have cold cards. This guy, I think, published this to Reddit. He must have had a watch-only wallet where he was checking his wallet every day and seeing how much money he had, type of thing. And he checked it, I think, on the 30th, and posted this to Reddit, where he said that he had a cold card where his seed had never been online, and his wallet got swept, and it started circulating online. And the rest is kind of history if you've been paying attention a little bit. But initially it was like people didn't know what happened. We thought it was maybe user error, maybe the guy had connected a computer that had a seed on it to the internet, or had been scammed and then put it in and was blaming cold card incorrectly. But it turns out that it was actually a vulnerability in cold card's use of its random number, its hardware, its MCU's random number generator. It wasn't using its MCU's random number generator because the firmware had a bug in it. And a bunch of people, well, basically anyone who has an MK3, an MK2 with updated firmware, MK4, MK5, and Q are vulnerable with these seeds that are created with weak entropy. And so that's just been kind of unfolding, but that's like the overview of that story. That guy later a bunch of people initially thought that might be FUD or that guy's fault and not Cold Card's fault. And then it turned out it was actually Cold Card had this bug latent in there. Well, not latent, it was actually live for 5 years, and a bunch of people had been storing their life savings with keys that were easily crackable.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing.
Yeah.
That it went undetected for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm impressed by that it went undetected. And then I'm also impressed that when somebody did find out how to abuse this vulnerability, that the community figured it out so fast.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the attacker is saying, this is how I did it.
No. No. Well, yeah, that is
publish a book like OJ. If
Yeah.
I did it.
No, you're right. That was actually pretty interesting. Because it was maybe 24 hours, I think, I think it was like a string of a handful of blocks where the attacker executed the attack and stole, I think at this point, nearly 1,000 coins, to the tune of like $70 million.
70 million?
Yeah, $70 million, 1,000 coins. Yeah, and then we didn't know what was going on, but then there were a number of independent reports of people who had cold cards, people we know who have good security practices, who are reporting the same thing. People like Grubels, who said, I believe they had an MK3, and they're like, this is real. This is a real attack. And several people like that, lots of people in private, obviously talking to core contributors, people who are, paying a lot of attention to this stuff, people who they knew were telling the truth and didn't make a serious mistake. And then so everyone kind of began to believe that it was Cold Card that potentially had an issue of some kind. And then
that Praveen was showing on there. Was this when it was all going on?
This is one of the consolidation transactions where the attacker is sweeping all of these UTXOs into an address. And there are several of these. I think there were like 4 or 5 of these in total that people have uncovered. And they're mostly distinguishable by like absurdly high fees. I think they paid something like 80 sats per VByte or something.
Of other people's money.
Yeah, of other people's money.
So here let me. So can we just talk about the attack, because I think that's the most interesting thing here.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that a lot of us lost a lot of money, but talk about the attack, because it sounds like the person that was doing it didn't try to cover it up, or maybe had used some sort of he looked at it was like amateur hour, I guess. That's kind of what I read on Stacker.News.
People are calling them a novice. We don't know if they actually were a novice, or they were lazy, or if they didn't care. But according to people who are very sophisticated in Bitcoin, this was an amateur attack. If you wanted to do this and hide your footprint better, you probably wouldn't be consolidating immediately. You'd probably mix.
Yeah.
You'd probably wouldn't reuse addresses.
Small wallets.
You would maybe go after bigger wallets. You would maybe not use a public block explorer, or to figure out. you probably use like local infrastructure.
You would use your own node to hide your tracks.
Yes,
there.
exactly. You use your own node. You wouldn't pay a public block explorer. We don't know how they paid them, but according to some stuff I saw online, they paid for a public block explorer. So there's probably a paper trail there. Their IP is probably exposed, metadata. If they weren't.
I mean, just paying for a block explorer narrows down the pool of potential people.
Yeah.
Not many people are paying for a block explorer.
Yeah, well, I think he signed up specifically to do this attack. Oh no. We just lost a boat part of some kind.
Did we lose a boat part?
Can you swim and get it? Or did...
Oh, what tool was it?
I think Ted just dropped his cold card in the water.
Oh, the crank is an important tool. Probably not. All right, we'll go fishing for that later. Anyway, where were we?
Shallow here. Oh yeah, we were
talking about the attack. And,
oh yeah.
How amateur.
Well, then the other then
how you would normally do it. Versus
another like there were a lot of strange things with like some of the wallets weren't completely swept, even though they could have been, which suggested that it was maybe a vibe coded like script attack. Like the person had created a script to do all the sweeping.
And what were they looking for? It was like the RNG bug. It was the RNG bug, right? So like they were setting parameters around certain addresses from that time based on a bug that was from 2021.
They knew the entropy was low and that they could. I don't know exactly how you'd perform an attack like this, but I think what you would do probably is just generate all of the private keys that you possibly could, given the constraints that are available in the cold card firmware. And then you test it against, you'd use the blockchain itself to test it against like what transactions or what UTXOs you could spend. You would use that as an oracle. And then so you'd create this huge database of these things is what I would probably do. And then you would perform the attack all at once like they did. You would do
just an entire sweep of the whole thing.
Yeah, just kind of a tsunami
it.
level attack where people could not respond in time. Because the problem is like now people know they started moving their funds and stuff. And then other attackers also come online and perform.
And explain the entropy, because there's a lot of plebs that listen to this that don't know what the fuck entropy is. Sorry for cursing.
Yeah, when you generate your seed, you do that by creating a very large random number. And you want that to be truly random because if it's truly random, that makes it very hard to guess because it's very unlikely that someone has the exact same randomness as you or ever can create the same randomness as you. Usually Bitcoin keys or Bitcoin seeds have 128 bits or 256 bits of entropy. And in the most vulnerable hardware wallet of cold cards, the MK3 with the buggy firmware, they only had 32 bits of entropy, I think, with maybe a little more. And the same vulnerability was present on MK4, MK5, and Q, except they had somewhat of another mitigation where they mixed other entropy sources and like reseeded, giving it a total, I think, of like 70 bits of entropy in those cases, which is quite a bit harder to break, but still not nearly as hard to break as like 128 bits. It's something like, I think it's
2 to the 32, I think. That's what I saw.
232 for the MK3 is the bits of entropy that you got. But in the MK4, MK5, and Q, I think it's like 2 to the 70. But normally you want like 2 to the 128 or 2 to the 256. And that's like
it's orders of magnitude.
Yeah, the difference between 32 bits of entropy and 256 bits of entropy is something like 17 with 66 zeros after it. Like that is like the difference in like the level of randomness or difficulty to guess that number. Like the size of the search space is maybe the best way to say that.
Yeah.
So you were talking about earlier about this like C library or like this C code that was like because I asked you earlier like is there like a bug like
yeah.
Can you explain all that kind of because a lot of that stuff is beyond my head.
Yeah. So it's just the firmware. They had a preprocessor macro that said if in def, and they had a constant, I think, for determining whether they should use the hardware random number generator or the software one. And I think they just misinterpreted what if in def meant, and it means is this variable, is this defined, is this symbol defined, rather than is this symbol 0. They meant it to mean is this symbol 0, and instead they use is the symbol defined, and even though it was defined as 0, it was defined, and so it went into the branch where the entropy was low. And it's just this really small bug where like if I were reviewing the code, I would miss it.
Really?
Yeah, if I were reviewing the code, I would miss it unless I were very familiar. Unless I haven't been coding C for like 10 years, but I assume even when I was coding C, I might have missed such a bug and not really understood that if in def meant is the symbol defined or not. And yeah, I might have interpreted the same way they did when they were reading it.
So it's not like a backdoor that they have in their devices.
Well,
That's also been spread around.
We don't know if it's a backdoor or not. I would guess not. I don't think NVK or the team at Cold Card would put a backdoor in it like that. It's been there for 5 years, unexploited. Yeah. And what is the motive for them to do that? I don't know. So I just think it's a bug that everyone missed for 5 years because it's very subtle, very hard to spot, hard to test probably, because I would guess lots of people tested the random number generator and their hardware one, but no one was testing whether the builds produce like the right symbols and link the right code. Yeah,
this stuff's very hard to test. And so, like, I don't know. I don't know all the details on this hack, but I've been in this situation where it's like, look, cryptography is really hard to test in the wild. So you'll have some like test setup where everything is, you just have like a sample, like a sample wallet with maybe some like hard coded keys or just some like toy example of a cryptography library, and you're just using this for testing, and you don't ever mean for any of this code to make it into production. But I guess like they had things set up in a way where this one if statement had a bug in it that it was a bug that didn't really surface in any visible way, and so it meant that the wrong random number generator was being used.
Yeah, I wonder.
Man, it's such a terrible thing because like I could see myself making something like a similar mistake. Yeah, I feel like this is like a mistake that could happen to anybody. And the thing is, like, nobody found it for 5 years. It was that subtle. And then all of a sudden somebody does find it, and it seems like they were in a rush to capitalize on it.
I think they were pretty patient with it. Again, they executed the attack over, and they had to accumulate all of these. They had to crack all of these wallets. Like they accumulated a lot of cracked wallets before they even executed the attack.
But did this guy know what he was doing in terms of searching for this exploit themselves, or did they use AI to find the exploit?
Oh, they definitely used AI, and it seems like they used AI to execute the attack. But it seems like they had enough foresight or knew enough that they like withheld. They didn't start stealing coins immediately, I would guess, after they discovered the attack. They knew that they would trigger kind of this immune reaction and cause people to move keys, and that they would be more successful if they had no competition and the owners weren't trying to protect their keys.
So just real quick. So talk about like what's next, because if this guy was an amateur, then I would imagine now like some black hats are going to come out and really go after it. What should people be on the lookout for? I know you guys were talking about RBF later on and all that kind of stuff. Can you explain how that's going to play out, or at least like what that looks like in a situation where it's more is coming?
You want to answer that? Or?
Yeah, well, I would guess this attacker went after the low hanging fruit of the MK3 stuff, which had the worst entropy involved in seed generation. And then the MK4, MK5, and Q, I would guess that the next generation of attackers will go after that. And I'm sure the guy did leave a bunch of UTXOs on the table from before because the attack was kind of poorly planned. So I'd guess there will be attackers going after those UTXOs, smaller amounts of coins. I think he had a lower bound of something like 15 million sats or something. He didn't steal UTXOs that had less than that in them.
That's why I think it was a bit of a rush job, because as soon as this people figured out like, okay, something's going on here, then multiple other people were able to use AI.
Yeah.
I guess Kimmy, because like
K3.
the other agents would just flat out refuse. But other people were able to use Kimmy to find this exploit like relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Once they knew like something was off here.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if like maybe the attacker knew that too. That it was
Yes.
actually kind of trivial. It was like hiding in plain sight, this bug. And so time was of the essence to like try and
Well, have you ever thought
sweep these funds.
if you've ever had like I've had several of these occasions where I've had like a startup idea or something, and I'm like, oh no, someone else is gonna have this idea. I want to be the first person to have this idea, and I need to have it first. And but once you have the idea, you begin thinking everyone else is capable of having it and will have it. Exactly. And so you get kind of panicky. And so he's like, is someone else gonna see this before me and steal the money before me? Or is Cold Card gonna discover it and tell their customers to migrate before I can attack it? And so he probably spent, I would guess, a few weeks at least, and before the paranoia really set in. And he's like, I can steal $70 million. I better just execute it now. It's like risk reward calculation before it's discovered by someone else or people become aware of it and patch it. Yeah. That's my sense of it. But I would guess, yeah, like my immediate thought was once this was known, there would be people who do this professionally, right? Who, I mean, we know Austin got taken by a low entropy seed earlier, and he the moment he broadcast it, someone was trying to steal his funds, I think.
So what do you think is going to happen? What can we expect now that this is out there in the wild?
I would guess hundreds of millions of. I think this will end with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of people's money being stolen. I don't think this is like the end of it. I think it's just the beginning. I think there's a bunch of people who tuned out, who aren't aware. We're hearing all of the reports from people who know that they got robbed. I just think it's the beginning. There's probably also thefts that are much more sophisticated now, where there is an address reuse, where we can't see that they're getting robbed.
Yeah, we can only see. So part of the sloppiness of the initial attack is it was done in a way where we could see all the UTXOs.
Yeah.
That were swept.
Oh, shit. So you're saying there's somebody that will be a little bit more smarter about hiding their tracks.
Oh yeah.
And you wouldn't even see it.
Way smarter.
Like we wouldn't even see it on the mempool is what you're saying.
It'd be very hard. It'd be very hard.
And then what about the interception that you guys were saying about the RBF stuff? Like explain how that would work.
So yeah, so there's two things to look out for. One is that right now you still have a pretty large search space to like build up this set of keys that have been compromised, and then because you don't know which keys have been used, so you sort of have to generate all these keys that would have been compromised, and then you go on chain to look at, okay, which of these keys are actually used. And so that's still a pretty large search space. You'd still require some decent amount of hardware to do all that. It's a lot easier if you're not worried about searching through the search space of keys that have been compromised, but just keys that are moving funds. So you can just stare at the mempool and you just look at funds that are being moved. And it's like, okay, that's a much smaller space to search through. It's just transactions that are being moved in the mempool.
But then you have to crack that key in real time before.
That's true. You do have to crack the key.
But if you have enough compute, you could probably do it. Because I think, I think even with like the MK4 and MK5, if you had enough hardware, like a bunch of GPUs on it, you could probably do it in a span of minutes. But you might have to have a lot of GPUs.
Well, if it's 2 to the 32.
No, it's 2 to the 70 in the case of the MK4 and MK5. If you haven't narrowed the search space enough with like knowing UIDs, I think, and like other like timing parameters, and I think there's also a counter that they end up using instead of like real.
I guess
RNG.
The way I'm thinking about it is instead of pre-generating all the keys, you run a cracker on each key you see in the mempool.
Yeah, if you did, but I think you would.
You approach the problem from the other direction.
I think that might work, but I think you still need a lot. because I think the thought is if like without a lot of compute, it would take quite long to still crack entropy, like 70 bits of.
But you wouldn't go after
entropy,
those.
a
Keyan,
seed
you would
generator.
just go after the fish in the barrel.
Well,
Right?
I don't know. I'm like kind of a noob on this stuff, but I've been paying a lot of attention to it. I was like up super late watching and everyone talk about it. It's really, I don't know. I think it is like the Mount Gox of my time personally. I think, I've been in Bitcoin for a minute, but I haven't there was FTX, but that is not my people. But there's, Mount Gox was was Bitcoiner people, and this is Bitcoiner people. These are our people that got attacked.
Well, so the thing that we were talking about earlier was RBF. So like if your key was compromised and the attacker is moving your funds, you can try to move the funds by broadcasting a transaction that's paying more fees, so you can move the funds instead. But then you enter into this like bidding war with the attacker to try and get those funds. And if you know what you're doing, like you can set up a script to do that. But if you're just a guy that has a cold card, maybe your funds haven't been swept yet, but like if you're trying to move your funds and an attacker uses RBF to replace your transaction with their transaction, or you're trying to RBF them, like if you're not prepared to get into this bidding war, like you're likely to lose and not get your funds. Austin got into a bidding war when his key got compromised. This is from like a completely separate thing.
A few years ago, also using a cold card, but not due to this bug. Although I think that cold card, it involved dice rolls. It was a UX thing where he thought that he could just add dice rolls to add entropy, and it was instead it was one or the other. And he did like a handful of dice rolls, thinking that it would then add, do random number generation on top of that, but it didn't, and it just used the 10 dice rolls, and he got sniped immediately when he spent funds there. I think that's my memory of it.
Well, no, he saw the funds move, but he knew how to do the RBF, so then he was able to sweep the funds back.
There was multiple back and forths. There was a whole war that happened.
Yeah, he acted fast somehow.
I don't know, like.
So what do people do now? Like if they haven't moved from code card, maybe they're in 2 code cards and a multi-sig. Like at this point, I've been saying just to enough with cold card and CoinKite, and I'm a big fan of cold card. I'm like a big fan of cold card, like humongous fan, and I've been reluctant to move from code card. And I'm of the opinion now, like you just need to cut your losses with that company. And I love their products, but what do you guys say? Like, if a pleb's watching this, like, what do you do? Like, do you go to a laptop with fucking clean Unix or OpenBSD? Like, what do you what do you do? Like at this point, there is no answer, right? Or
Well, you move your funds immediately.
so just get them off of cold card.
Yeah, just get them off cold card as soon as you can.
You want to generate a secure seed. You want to generate another wallet and move your funds from cold card. You can also, cold card is issued a patch. They've created a new firmware release which you can download on your device to generate a secure seed without dice rolls. But if you have an insecure cold card, you can do dice rolls to generate a new seed and spend to that. Main thing is like your seed is compromised. Your wallet is compromised. You need to move to a new wallet.
Yeah, don't wait.
Yeah, if the money is more important than your privacy and other things, you want going to an exchange as like worst case scenario, or isn't a worst case scenario relative to losing your funds. So you might want to do that.
What's your advice for the hacker? What should the hacker do?
Good question.
We don't give advice. Good advice. Don't answer
What's
that, Keyan.
the
Don't
advice?
don't answer that. All right. Well, that's pretty much the number one story this week. It's number 4. It's number 4 in this in this week's Stacker.News
What else?
Hey,
would we
we're
do?
moving on. We're moving on, guys. We're moving on. Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think about it. I think he might have already made too many mistakes by the sound of it.
We could talk about it.
Fake his
We
ass.
can keep talking about it.
Change his
Hey,
identity.
He's not watching Stacker.News. No, I think plebs are watching this and they're concerned. I've had people message me today, like, when are you coming on Stacker.News Live? Are you guys going to explain something? Like, and that's why I'm having you guys explain it
I
at
wish
length.
I would have done a better job explaining.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, what do the plebs do? Do they just sounds like to me what they're saying is if you care more about the money than your privacy in exchange.
Well, even a hot wallet would be like, even
Yes.
if it's just downloading Sparrow and just moving it to a hot wallet on Sparrow.
yeah, or Blue Wallet
be
on your phone, or Bitcoin Core on a a clean laptop. I think that is much better.
Or what if they're snipers? If they're snipers.
They're snipers, yeah.
Well,
you need to prepare.
in either case, like, you just got to move your funds as quickly as possible. Don't be reactive. Like, don't wait for your funds to move and then try and do something. Like, just move your funds right away.
If there's a sniper, then you probably want to move your funds and try to get it to a miner with a mempool accelerator, because maybe they don't have the accelerators.
Yeah, if you directly submit to a miner, then it's literally someone who is a sniper isn't gonna take advantage of that. But I was seeing that people were saying that you should only go direct to miner with a multi-sig. I don't understand why they were saying that, but these people are much more sophisticated with on-chain stuff than I am.
Well,
So
the less mempool, the better, right? Presumably they are connected to the mempool.
I think they just don't
so-
want that transaction to enter into the mempool. But if you're just directly submitting to miners, you won't get sniped, even if you have a single sig wallet. So
Right. Yeah, so you want to go through
direct submission to miners, use like Mara's Slipstream, or if you
Mempool.
have mempool accelerator might allow you to do it, but mempool accelerator might actually enter it on the public block explorer and not hide it. I don't know.
it's definitely public because you can search for it on their.
Oh yeah. So you want a version of that where you are like submitting to a pool with a lot of hash, where it's going to get in soon,
Yeah.
but it is going to be private until it's in a block.
And then pay over 10x or something, right?
Well, it doesn't matter if you're directly submitting to a miner where it never enters the public mempool.
It doesn't hurt to pay
'Cause
over, because then you get in the next block. at
Yeah,
least.
but they should be, if you're paying them directly, that's pretty much what you're paying them for, is guaranteed into their whatever next block they mine.
Yeah.
So you could do both. You could submit directly to a miner with their promise that they're going to put you in the next block that they mine, and actually probably you wouldn't want to do that, and you could submit a very high fee transaction. But then that might also signal people. I don't know. It's tricky.
Do we know any private things to get into a miner?
I think Mara's Slipstream might be private. I don't think it enters the public mempool when you submit to them.
All right. That's all we have for this story. Unless you guys want to keep talking about it, I'm sure.
I don't really have much more to say about it.
Okay. So it sounds like just get them off your code card. Stop using CoinKite. That's how I feel personally. Let's start listening to the devs. I was telling Topher earlier, I was like, this is going to make more plebs actually listen to the devs. And I think they'll stop listening to a lot of other people who give really bad advice. So don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, but
Don't listen to me either. Yeah, and I might be a deaf, but I'm kind of a noob when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. Well, who's a good person to listen to? Maybe Merch.
Yeah, I would listen to people who contribute to Bitcoin full time. Those people have good advice. People who are like Bitcoin security researchers.
There you go.
Yeah.
So like Merch, then probably somebody like Merch.
Merch is great. Merch is great at everything.
Yeah. So follow
there's
Merch
a lot
on
of people
Twitter.
like Merch. So, Schmitty.
I mean, this is different than like liking about the core thing or the knots thing. This is like actual
It's beyond
people's. Yeah, this is beyond that. We're all in this fucking shitstorm together at this point, and it's all man on deck, pun intended. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna jump into the number 3 top story, which is the War Pooler Visualizer. This is from Crew. 37 comments, 39,000 sats. Keyan, do you remember what this was?
Yeah, I think Crew put out I was in the middle of actually reading up on this one when you told me we were going on about Because you said we're gonna go on a boat. I think that's my memory of it.
So
Is there
can you tell
another
us,
route to a
can
boat?
you tell us about the boat, Topher?
I just bought this boat to lose my Bitcoin, honestly.
If you, yeah.
That's our cold card party.
Oh yeah, we should call this the MK3.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like if you're a Bitcoiner, you felt compelled to buy a boat. No, they seem to go together. Bitcoin and boats and accidents.
Certainly as a meme. Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
it
but-
way more plausible if you own a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. To claim a boat accident.
So I was looking at this beautiful boat, and I don't know. It was a widow special. So it's like a 30-foot Pearson sailboat, and got it for a really good deal.
Yeah.
And haven't sailed it yet. Still need to replace the mainsail. But we live in Austin. Austin has some beautiful waterfront.
It does.
So-
Look at this. I mean, you can't really see it because it's kind of washed out in the
Yeah,
video there.
It's the monitor. It's washed out.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's a beautiful day, and we're gonna try and do some sailing after this. I think. Did you get the sail working?
Yeah, the sail's all good to work, and then that's our mast. So if you take that blue thing off there, Keyan,
This.
yeah, just pull it straight off. Other way.
Up.
Oh no, that's the rudder.
Yeah, it's the rudder.
Oh, wow.
So you
the
can
rudder?
you can navigate with the wheel or the rudder.
Okay. Cool.
What is this?
I thought
Is
that was
water? Oh no, that's the compass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure why there's water in there.
Iceberg, that ahead. I'm waiting to say that. All right. The number
Yeah,
two.
I'll let go.
The number
Oh,
two top story is Wasabi
Oh.
Wallet privacy by default. This is from Crew. CoinJoin territory. Oh, there's a CoinJoin territory. 33 comments, 65,000 sats. Keyan, what are they celebrating this week?
Oh, Crew. Yeah, he's just promoting Wasabi Wallet. That was his first post in his own. He bought the CoinJoins territory. Crew bought it, and that was his first post announcing the CoinJoins territory. This was after Crew was on a tear of zapping and down zapping hundreds of thousands of sats a day. And I think they might still continue it. Yesterday, he down zapped one of my posts into oblivion, but he was nice and he warned me that he was going to do it.
It's been cool to see him post more and more here. I was watching the Bitcoin Optech podcast earlier this week when he was talking about
Yeah.
all that stuff, but it's been good. He's been a good addition to Stacker.News, and love that there's a CoinJoins territory now. You should. The other thing I will say, I totally forgot to tell you this, Keyan, but if it wasn't for Stacker.News yesterday, like I would have been fucked. Like having Stacker.News, Bitcoin only, like cypherpunk place where people can actually go and learn instead of like listening to Twitter or even Nostra was trying to do a good job, but like just go into like a central place where everybody's talking about updates, like up to the minute updates. It was a godsend. So
I saw that too.
I
Yeah, a lot of
appreciate
people said that.
you you doing that and staying up all night to make sure everybody gets the information correctly, because I think in situations like this, it's good to be with other Bitcoiners in the foxhole.
Yeah, I feel like we usually try to do this anyway, but it seemed to make a big difference because the information was a little more timely, and having it all collected was really helpful. And so that's awesome that we could make it.
Probably save some Bitcoin out there. to
I
be
hope
honest.
so.
Yeah.
There was certainly one stacker, who has a top story this week, or no, not who doesn't have the top story this week, but post regular on Stacker.News who had a cold card queue and was wondering what they should do. And they were like, should I just wait for the dust to settle?
Like, no.
Yeah. And we're like, yeah. And then we said no.
Yeah, because when I came in yesterday, I didn't know what was going on. You were like, did you see what happened? And I was like, no, what happened? And then I went to go look at Stacker.News, and it was just all there, sort to new, and then able to follow everything as it's coming in. And then now with the updating feature in there, you see the blue dots, so new stuff comes in. And so, yeah, that was really great. Instead of following like all these different Twitter accounts that you don't know or trust, there's like a community on Stacker.News. People know who's the bullshitter, who's like legit. I feel like there's enough. What do you call that? I don't know. There's enough community like
Well, yeah, you see
POW or whatever you want to call that, where everybody knows each other's personalities at this point.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, we've seen him fight before about this, but like in this situation, everybody was all all aboard.
Yeah, you
so.
see something from merch, or you see something from a handful of personalities on Stacker.News.
Optimism,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh yeah, fucking
Okay.
listen to this guy, right?
Yeah. Yep. And so that was certainly great. There were a lot of great people. A lot of this was, we were following a lot of this stuff on X because a lot of people.
Yeah, shout out to Scoresby for posting every single post.
Yeah, basically everything
Yeah,
he saw on X,
appreciate
it
you,
was
Scoresby.
about it. Everything he found that was credible. But a lot of great people in Bitcoin really chipped in to kind of. I mean, it is just a very serious incident, and
yeah, I think that was for me. It was like everybody was trying to dunk on people, and it's just like, now's not the time, bro. We could do that like a week from now, 2 weeks from now. Now it's like, let's just help the plebs move off their Bitcoin. That's my mindset.
Now's the time to come together.
Now's the time to come together and move people's Bitcoin off of these wallets. And I feel bad for that whole company, but like it's such a massive, devastating thing. I don't know who can recover from that, unfortunately. I just pray like he doesn't have to, pay all that money back, because that's a crazy amount of money.
I don't think he would have to.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have to pay all of it back.
Because that would hurt his family and all sorts of things.
There will certainly be lawsuits. I'm not a lawyer.
Man, that sucks.
There's gonna be all kinds of lawsuits, I imagine.
So I pray for him and his family. I hope like the whole company doesn't just. Yeah, because like at that point, like it's people's livelihoods, and you don't want to wish that on anybody. But
they have one job.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. But at the same time, it's like we're all still people in the ecosystem.
Job is one job. Though.
We're all people in the ecosystem working together, collectively
Yeah.
moving forward. So it's just sad to see all around, man. So like, yeah, now it's not the time to dunk on people. It's definitely not the time. Anyways, that's. The number one story this week is the most important photo of my life, the moment my life changed. This is from Malos 10, July 27th, 39 comments, 110 stats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, someone zapped the crap out of this one. Malos 10 lives in Venezuela. They're a photographer in Venezuela. They commonly post either like street photos or park photos when they're out on the town, or they'll do their like studio photos. They'll share some of those sometimes when they have clients come in. They recently got a studio, but this post in particular is them sharing a photo of their, I think their girlfriend or wife's pregnancy test. And so they're welcoming a child now. And that's what this is. That is the most important.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
2 babies born.
Cheers.
This week.
It's Cars
Awesome.
beer, but cheers.
Yo. It's awesome.
New Bitcoiner.
It's
always nice to have a new Bitcoiner.
I think that's all the top stories we have. You want to jump into Wumble's picks? But before we jump into Wumble's picks, we're going to go into one of my favorite parts of the show. Our sponsor, Bitcoin Education Quest. Oh, there you go. This is a website where you can actually go and learn all about Bitcoin. You can select if you're new to Bitcoin. You hit continue. You pick what you want to learn. This week's probably good to learn about wallets, right? And then the history and probably Bitcoin properties. Go into there, and then before you know it, your quest begins. You have your little friend Nacho. He shows you everything. You ask him everything. And they even have something called Time Chain TV. Time Chain TV is awesome.
1 million coin issuance limit.
Wow.
The proof of work consensus out.
But this is a really cool show. You can actually go here, click on different Bitcoin channels, and learn from the greats in Bitcoin. What I like to do, though, is ask Nacho. Let me go back here. Ask Nacho, and look, I just earned 25 points reward. So there's all sorts of things you can do. You learn about self-custody. Now might be a good time. Earn another 25 points there. You can read through it. You can look at tweets. It's a really interesting app. I think it's one of those things where, like, the more you use it, the more you find. It's a very great discovery app, and it's basically set up to educate people about Bitcoin and its properties and to onboard people the right way. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check out bitcoineducation.quest. QR code's right there. Want to thank Phil and the entire team at Bitcoin Education Quest for sponsoring Stacker.News Live, keeping the lights on, keeping us on this boat. Paying for this beer, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, want to appreciate you.
No,
Thank you guys.
no, you know they don't pay for the beer. I paid for the beer.
Keyan paid for the beer. Anyways, I just want to
Not
appreciate
that one,
you
maybe.
guys.
Sounds tad, actually.
We'll go back to the show. Yeah, Wumble's picks. Let's jump into the wild, wonderful world of Wumble's picks. Wumble's picks. One day, Wumble, I'll get you a little whole thing and everything. You'll have like a Wumble's wonderful, wonderful world of Wumble's picks.
Yeah, we need some kind of animation.
We'll do it. We'll get there. Wumble says, Coin Jones, you're an onset just dropped by a number of code card users. Gosh, this is from Justin Shocknet. Keyan, did you happen to read this?
No, this is one that I missed because I did not know when we would film this today. And I did not do all the prep that I planned. I was too
Okay, so I think he's talking about this. This is from Kevin Loeck. He says, you are not a code card user. You have been using Wasabi or other coin joins where your anonymity set just dropped by the number of code card users in your rounds. Pay join, same thing. Everything is fudged. Keyan, I think you guys were talking about this earlier, actually, believe it or not. Do you remember seeing that right there?
Your anonymity set just dropped by the number of cold card users in your rounds. Okay. Do you understand this immediately? I'm having a
Wait, what was the question?
Well, what he's saying is that given the attack that's happened on cold card users, the anonymity sets of their coin join rounds that they were in are much more constrained. Oh, I guess because we know.
Because for attackers that have gone through the trouble of generating all the private keys to identify those users in the coin join. Is that what he's saying? Like you can, if you're an attacker, or you at least you know what keys have been compromised. But you would have to be an attacker to really know like what keys have been compromised, and then you would know like what keys are cold card users.
Yeah.
In a coin join round. But what would
you would know what keys are cold card users in a coin join round.
But that doesn't really anonymize anything in a coin join. I mean, they're poor cold card users, but they're still like individual users or not. How does that affect your anonymity?
I'm not sure exactly. This is one of the people who've been reporting pretty like was ahead of the ball, like ahead of the curve.
Oh, okay. So it's referencing Justin Shocknet's The Paradox of Privacy. You guys remember seeing?
Well, I think the poster on Stacker.News linked to that, but the guy on X did not. So I don't know how tied they are together.
In reference to like, let me see. So it's in reference to what Justin posted this past weekend about the Paradox of Privacy, and I imagine. And I've thought about this too. The way Justin explains this, it's like the more you start using some of these privacy tools, and then now with the lack of cold cards in existence now, it does narrow the gap of how many people.
So there's just
the anonymity set is
participating.
Yeah, just basically
trying to get their funds back.
Yeah, it basically becomes a honeypot. But it's not entirely saying that. It's just thinking theoretically about it. I don't know.
I don't think it's what this means. I think it's something about. I don't know. It's like I think there might my intuition suggests that what he's saying about the cold card users is that they like collapse to a participant of one, and so so if there are maybe 10 cold card users who were part of this attack or whatever, and they're known to be victims of this attack, then somehow that reduces the anonymity set by 10 people because they become somehow one entity. But I don't actually follow that like privacy logic super well. I guess if you are known to not be a cold card victim, and if someone knows that in advance, and I guess you still have your coins, you're still able to spend them, I guess would be all that's required to know that you weren't a victim of this attack. Then your anonymity set is weaker, depending on how many people are in that round with you.
Is this like going forward, or like going forward, new rounds you'll have less?
No, I think that's not. I think that's all like retrospectively, because like you weren't a victim of that cold card attack. But all these other...
because you could de-anonymize all the cold card users, I guess.
Well, you don't need to de-anonymize them. You just need to know that everyone else in that coin join round who still is able to spend their... Like, if I'm an exchange and I see a spend that was previously... that participated in a coin join round, I know that person was not a victim of the cold card attack because we know where those coins are and they're not being spent to me right now. And so now I can trace history back a little further. I
guess the way I'm thinking about it is if you're the attacker, you have the seed to all these wallets. So if these users were using some sort of whirlpool or CoinJoin service, then you could de-anonymize all their participation in any round. And then you would also lower, so then you could single out those people as being cold card users.
Yeah.
And then you would know, I guess you would know that the remaining participants are not cold card users, or specifically not those cold card devices.
Yeah.
And that would lower the anonymity set.
I think that's what they're saying.
And you would also be able to tie like a single user between rounds. So like if you're a cold card user and an attacker has your seed, then they know like your participation in every round. So that does lower the anonymity set. I think maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I guess my question then is like, so if you've used some of these coin joins or whirlpools or whatever, is now a good time to create a new seed then?
If you weren't a cold card user, you weren't affected, but there's nothing you can do about it now. Like what's the past is the past.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I do want to say like it is now that has been brought up. If you are, let's just say you're an unfortunate MK3 user, not only do you have to worry about your funds either already have been stolen or in the process of being stolen, but if you used a CoinJoin service, now an attacker can use that same vector to see your participation in CoinJoins. So now all your transaction history has been de-anonymized, essentially. So yeah, so there's that too. Anyway.
Wow. This is why you watch Stacker.News live, Bubs. This is why you watch Stacker.News live. Get this stuff. Actually, one boy had a question. Maybe he asked the same thing I did. Oh yeah, there it goes. I guess he did. We're thinking of like, can you think of any way to estimate number of code cards using coin joins? And that's basically what you said, right? That was his Womble's question. Can you think of any way to estimate the number of code cards using coin joins?
We don't really have to. I mean, well, yeah. No, I don't know. I don't have a way
to estimate it. I mean, I guess if you run the attack, you could count the number of people using cold cards in coin joins. I mean, you can de-anonymize their history, so you can just count it yourself.
You just said that, yeah.
So
yeah, but there's a number of people who like did like seed only, or I mean dice only seed generation, who have cold cards.
Yeah. It isn't like all MK3 users. It's MK3 users that like didn't have a password or use dice rolls or anything else. They literally just went default.
Yeah.
Just generate something. I'm not going to add anything to it.
Yeah.
And it's those users specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys for explaining that. I think that's all the top stories that we have this week on Stacker.News Live. I didn't prepare.
I wanted to cover one story.
Yeah. What is it? We'll bring it up.
If you go to top, and it was just Jason B's story about.
What is it called?
If you go top week, it's going to be on there. I believe, I forget the exact, or what made me fall out of love with music, I think is what
made me lose.
Should be on the front page. It should be on this first page here. I don't know if I could see it somewhere.
Oh, I see it. The Forest Reunion.
Yeah.
You always get the title right. You always get the title wrong. Whenever you tell me, I'm like looking for what made me. And it's always like something.
You get it wrong.
The Forest Reunion. How I lost my passion for music.
That's exactly what I said.
Completely different.
That's exactly what
you
I
sound
said.
like me. From Jason B, 7 comments, 11,000 sats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, so Jason B was looking for a job in Bitcoin, and he got an interview question that he thought led to him losing that position at that Bitcoin company. Yeah, they asked him. I guess this is a common interview tactic. What are they, can you think of a time when? I guess that's like a common question you get asked in interviews. And he got, can you think of a time when you had to enforce a policy at a company that you didn't agree with? And he told them a story, but he told it in a way that framed it such that he was somehow somehow resistant to the company's wishes, and then also quit because he disagreed with the policy. When instead, like, the truth of the story is that he actually complied with the policy and did his best by it, and then later had feelings about it that were maybe sort of unrelated that caused him to quit. But in that moment, he had like told it wrong. But it led him to explain his like why he's a Bitcoiner, because he's like he's professionally a jazz musician. So
that's cool.
He spent the last, I think,
he play drums, or what does he play?
I believe he plays the trumpet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
Dude,
so,
I heard a good trumpet the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. And he thinks jazz, he thinks there's a lot of comparisons to jazz with Bitcoin, in that there is no like jazz canon. There aren't rules. It's not very academic. It is just kind of, there is no ruler. There is no ruler. There is just people making music with these instruments. And he, maybe I think he feels like on some level jazz has kind of lost that. And he kind of ties that in to his like career transition to Bitcoin. He's like looking for another domain where there isn't a ruler, and Bitcoin is such a domain. And he also ties that into Lord of the Rings. He's reading one of his daughters' Lord of the Rings at night.
Oh, cool.
And he
Two Towers.
Yeah, he finds Tolkien suggesting a similar thing where Sauron like doesn't anticipate that someone would ever want to destroy the ring and not have rulers. Sauron thinks that, and Tolkien expresses this several times in the books, Sauron can only imagine that someone with the ring wants to wear the ring and exercise the power and take Sauron's place in the world. And he says that Sauron can't comprehend that. And several people that we talk to Bitcoin about can't comprehend that either, that we're not just trying to replace one system of rulers with another. We're trying to replace one system of rulers with one without them.
Yeah, I've been told that from somebody pretty high up, that's what the whole point of Bitcoin was to replace.
Yeah, I think it's it's a natural instinct. It's the way things are normally. Anyway, I thought it was a great story. Weaves a lot of interesting bits in there, jazz.
Yeah, he said the above quote is from Tolkien's friend C.S. Lewis, and the quote is, "I believe we need to be radical. We also need to be effective. Bitcoiners love Hayek's famous sly trick quote, but in practice, we are not anything but sly when dealing with the uninitiated. I want to do something radical, and I'm convinced this company is doing something radical. I want to see a more fair, just, and prospering world, but I don't think we get there with chaos. I believe in freedom and authority when authority is abused. I don't jump to chaos as a response, but I want to fight alongside and for people that reject needless control. Now that we have Bitcoin, needless control is what the dollar has become. I would like to be with an organization that is working towards dissolving that control."
Yeah.
So you should come to Blub Lab.
This is what he wanted to. I think he has a family in another state, but
Bring him along.
Yeah. But he did relocate to South Africa, as he told in a former, for just a bit to help there at Bitcoin Akasi. That quote is from what he wished he had answered in that interview question that he only formulated.
Let me ask you, did you ever have an interview where it went really bad? I have one of those. Have you ever had one where it's it went south really quick by what you said?
There was,
Same question to you.
The only job I had out of college as a software engineer, I woke up 10 minutes late for the interview. Like, they called their phone call, woke me up, and I was hungover as shit because I had been drinking out late with a friend who was in from out of town, right at the end, toward the end of college. And I did really well in that interview, but I thought I had bombed it because I was super hungover and just not giving a shit. Yeah, but we only have White Claws.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's some more.
No, that's it. We're almost done. Topher, I'll go to you. What do you say about
Your interview?
Botching a job interview?
Yeah, when you knew it was bad with just the moment that the words came out of your mouth.
Doing the interview, and then during the interview, it goes south, and you're just you see it go south.
I've never really botched a job interview like that, but I've done a lot of contract work where I have to sell somebody on something, and where you just see it's almost like going on a date, and you see the look of interest on a girl's face just drain from her face. Yeah. And it's already over.
You just ordered the order.
But but the food is still coming to your table.
That's funny. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I've had a few of those. I mean,
shoot or shoot.
yeah, shoot or shoot.
So usually when you tell them that you're involved in Bitcoin somehow, and they're just like,
Sometimes
No, this wasn't Bitcoin. This was just like,
Bitcoin.
yeah, this was pre-Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, the thing you don't want to do is start doing the juggle where you're like, you see that you've already lost them, and so you're like trying to like bring them back, and so you're just saying stuff.
You gotta
just to
double
bring it
down.
back.
Always double down.
Talking to the mic.
I got one.
you, Ted?
I would say the worst job. Well, first of all, let me tell a date story because one time I saw that look in her eyes, and I think it was something around drugs. I said I got sent away as a kid for being a bad person, and she said, "Ooh, I don't know if I can get down with that." And I said, "You can't get down with that. Think about what I had to deal with. Like, screw your opinion. Like, it was way harder for me."
You're damn right.
And then she was immediately down. It was like full reversal, just from doubling down. Oh, she loved it. The second thing I said.
Okay.
So she said, "Oh, these things that you've done, like that precludes you. I'm not going to consider you." And I said, "I don't care about what you're considering. I'm telling you that this sucked for me. I can't believe I did that. It was a horrible decision."
You went from being a delinquent to a rebel.
I guess I have no
That was the
idea.
flip.
You were reformed.
It was
That's
amazing
what
to-
you liked?
It was amazing because I could see it in her eyes, like the drain, and then the comeback, and then it was like a
Yes.
full. And then I think she wanted to order tequila shots like right afterwards. So it was very like
Yeah.
always
Classic,
double down. But I'll tell you,
classic Tony Robbins emotional manipulation.
but I'll tell you the actual time, which is when I was interviewing for SpaceX. First interview went really well. They just asked me to recite some equations, make sure that I demonstrate some amount of knowledge about electrical engineering. And then the second interview, they were asking about kind of what degree I had and what, programs I've been a part of. And I did my undergrad in engineering physics and then my grad in creative technology and design. And the second I said those words, I was like, oh, this is game over. So, but he kind of entertained me. He was like, it's on the phone. He's like, well, oh, that's interesting. What, why did you do that? And I started going into, I created a startup and I learned these things about business and all this stuff that's not relevant to the role. And I was going to weave it back together, but the amount of time, it was going to take me like a few minutes to weave it back together. But he interrupted me and said, "Great. Well, thanks for calling." Or end of interview. It's like 7 minutes into the interview. It's like, oh man, I should not have said that at all. If I just
Spent
excluded
30
that
minutes talking
information,
about like football
would've
or
been
something.
fine.
It's like, oh, that's all the time we got for the interview.
that's how I felt.
I have a so I have one. I do actually have a decent story about this. Similarly, I interviewed at a rocket company. What's the 3D printed rocket company, Ted? Rocket Lab. I interviewed at Rocket Lab, and it was the second interview. I was on the phone with the CTO. I used to program C stuff, and that's kind of what they wanted. It's a pretty rare thing, but I was considering going and doing that for them. And I told them that I like to move fast, and I like to experiment.
No,
I like to experiment with
not on a rocket.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. That's what he's like. Well, at a rocket company,
You can't move fast.
Yes,
Break things.
he's like, at a rocket company, it's kind of like you only get one shot. So
Yeah, you can't.
maybe not a great idea to do that.
That's funny you told him that.
I know, and I
Were
didn't
you
realize
just
it.
autising out on that question, or what?
No, it's exactly how I felt at the time. That like the way to get a first version of something done, especially at a young startup, was to just kind of get something out.
MVP.
Yeah. And that's the way that's my mindset at the time. And he's like, no. But then he told me at the end, he's like, I'll send you some information on like the specifications and stuff and like how we think about these things. He never sent them to me, but
Oh, that's cool.
I knew he was just like,
The only one I have was there was like right when I left my last job. That for a second, my wife was like, at the time, she was like, you need to go find. So I just did it for her, and then, long story short, so I ended up in the boardroom, and it's just like him, me, the owner, and then like the guy I'm probably gonna be working under. And we get to the price, and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna cut it. I was like, I need another $25K. And the guy who was gonna be my boss, he just looked at me like, the fucking cojones on this guy. And I was like, no, I was being like nonchalant about it, and like, and then he was like, well, I was like, well, if you guys can't meet that, then it was great meeting you. And then I shook his hand and walked out of the room. Literally 2 days later, the guy called me back. He goes, can't get you 25, but I get you 12,500. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna probably start my own company. And then the rest is history. That was the last. And then yesterday, I actually was in a negotiation with this guy yesterday, and it started off really bad, but I was able to save it at the end. So I think what I learned is like in negotiation, if it's still bad, it's still savable because you wouldn't be in the room in the first place. That's what I learned. Yeah, because they want you if you're in the room. If you're in the room, it's just getting in the room.
Just gotta have a strong closer.
Yeah. Gotta be able to recover well too. Okay, that's all we got for this week on Stacker.News Live. You want to go to the top Cowboys, Keyan, or no?
Up to you.
Yeah, let's do the top Cowboys, baby.
I'm surprised this thing is still going.
Yeah, that lasts for like 5 hours. Top Cowboys 1 in hiding. Coop number 2 undisciplined. Blockchain Boog is on him. Blockchain Boog is neck and neck with undisciplined right now. Can you see that? Look at that, dude. Undisciplined. What are you doing? You gotta close. You gotta spread this gap a little bit more. I don't know how you're gonna do that, but
it is getting narrow.
Look at Gray Ruby too. Gray Ruby's right on Blockchain Boog. Dude, Stacker Sports is trying to take over this top Cowboy list here.
Good luck.
Wow. All right, you got Scoresby killing it lately. 424. I think everybody should give a round of applause for Scoresby this week because if it wasn't for him, a lot of this stuff would not fucking have made Stacker.News. So thank you, Scoresby, saving a lot of plebs money this week. Crypto Sensei, we got Wumble, my boy Wumble, Simple Stacker, Billy the Kid. Who else we got here? Now, K-Zone, Coins Reporter, 0x Bitcoiner, Justin Shocknet. Did you read Shocknet's privacy thing? What did you think about that?
Which one? Oh, the one that he had an LLM generate for him. I have such a hard time when someone, because it's like I don't know how much he cared about the output.
No,
and so I have to judge it for myself.
Okay.
I know it probably approximated
Dude,
what.
that's a lot of work.
No, it's not. It's not a lot of work to prompt something. I'm sorry.
See how his bar's really high,
can be.
Justin. His bar's really high.
I mean, I just don't know how much effort he put into.
I think he put a lot of effort.
I think he probably prompted it well. I just don't. He should give me his prompt, and then I can prompt my own LLM to generate the same thing.
Sucks. Maybe we start doing what I do is just like give the prompt, and then
that's what I wish people would do instead of writing stuff that has LLM generated.
Here I got Oscar Tamales. I enjoyed it. Shocknet. Peter Todd. Choke One. Who else we got? Did it play well? Sats List. Car. That guy. And then that's it. Sat Anonymous is number 96. And there you go. That's his mail to. I don't know why he has that for.
Oh, he might be check.
All right.
Cool.
Cool. That's all we got for Stacker.News Live this week. Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to be on this boat. I might drown. Topher might save me and drown instead, but we'll see how that goes. I don't think I have really any other plans. Helping a friend move. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. How about you, Topher?
What are you doing this weekend?
I don't know. Maybe driving this boat around.
Really? So
Huh?
you're gonna be on the boat overnight?
Yeah, let's try living the boat life a little bit. Yeah.
You got an Oasis?
Freshwater boy.
You think we can make it to Oasis on here?
Oh, I didn't even think about going on the boat to Oasis. I was thinking we were driving.
Yeah.
But we could definitely make it on the boat.
Do
We
they
can
have,
wave to the people that are at Oasis.
Do they have boat
I
parking
went on a
lots?
date at Oasis. It's a good spot.
They have boat parking lots. They do.
Okay.
They do.
So you can just get on to shore somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
I saw Travis. I think it's like the guy.
Talk to them.
Oh yeah, I saw the Uber, like one of the Uber founder, CEO, the guy who got like fired for sexual harassment or something. I don't remember. He got like canceled or something.
Oh, me too.
He got Me Too or whatever, but he commutes by jet ski.
Oh, I saw that
Yes.
one. Yeah.
He commutes by jet ski here, which is kind of cool.
What an asshole. Gonna hop on his jet ski.
I think he means it in a good
across
way.
the fucking lake.
I think he means it in a good way. It's awesome.
It is.
We're
It
all
is pretty
jealous of that
awesome.
life.
Yeah, it's a nice life.
What do you think about this doc that we're in, and what are we gonna do tonight? I guess we know.
Eat pizza and get drunk, and sing shanties, sea shanties.
Yeah.
Even though we're on a lake. I don't know. Do you have any lake shanties? Is that a thing?
I don't have any lake shanties. Yeah, the boat I grew up on was a shrimp boat. I don't know if there was even any sayings I learned.
Like a Bubba Gump kind of shrimp boat?
Bubblegum kind of shrimp boat. We would, drop
Lieutenant
nets in
Dan.
the water.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Ice cream would actually be good right
That
now.
was that was
hot
like
as
the
hell.
accent my grandfather had too.
Yeah,
It
so
was
maybe
very
just me and Keyan are gonna be
dumpy.
doing boat stuff
That'd be
over the weekend.
Yeah, let's boat. Let's boat this.
All right, Sackers. I
What are
think
you
what
doing?
I'm doing this weekend is I got to work tomorrow. Yeah, there's a lot of work. I saw Spider-Man. I forgot to tell you, I saw Spider-Man last night.
Yeah.
The best Spider-Man of all time.
No.
Yes, it's my favorite Spider-Man of all time. So if you're out there, go watch Spider-Man this week. It's gonna make $1 bazillion. And then also, I would say, it reminded me of The Dark Knight.
What?
Personally,
Wow. Does it have a Bane in it?
it's just really good. It's just really good. It's the feels and everything. Anyways, but this weekend I'm just gonna work all weekend. Got to squash some bugs. All right. Have yourselves a great weekend, Stackers.
Zap.